Hello and welcome to the Real Talk Podcast. Today is a very special episode because we are recording it live at the 2015 School Choice Expo. Everybody, thanks for being here. I'm your host, Matt Began.
And I'm Vicki Pierre.
And we're actually joined by a very special panel. In the middle, we have Addison Davis, who is our Chief of Schools. Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, thanks.
We have Pearl Rogers, our Assistant Superintendent in the Office of Choice.
I'll give you some love.
We also have a principal at the table, Denise Robertson. She's at Twin Lakes Academy Elementary School. And actually, two very important people. We have Bryce Williams. He's one of our students, and he's at Kirby Smith Middle School. And with Bryce, it's also Bryce's mom, Michelle Williams. She's one of our parents.
Thank you so much for joining us. It is not often that our guests get a round of applause every time they're introduced, so we're glad y'all are here. So our first question is for Mr. Davis. School Choice Expo, quite a showcase. Lots of schools, lots of people, and everybody has a chance to see the innovative programs and themes available to all of our students. So we know this is the second year in a row that every school has been part of this expo. Why is that so important?
This is one of the most important days for Duval County Public School System. This is a day of discovery and a day of possibility. This is a day when Duval County Public School System opens our doors and extends our hands to our community members, to our stakeholders, to our parents, and to our students, so they can get a better understanding of the opportunities that we offer from an academic standpoint, so they can identify pathways that we have. 3 years ago, as you said, this is our second year. 3 years ago, this was solely for magnets. And under the leadership of Dr. Vitti, he wanted us to transition to the 21st century and make sure that we had possibilities for every learner and every student in Duval County. And today is just another great step in the right direction that allows us to connect with stakeholders, connect with students, so they can learn more about the possibilities in our schools and the possibilities in our districts. Research says that and supports the fact that when students have opportunities to self-select their pathway and connect with interests and needs, that we see an increase in student performance and we see an increase of graduation rates. And this is just that opportunity. Parents and students get an opportunity to go around and look at the initiatives, and look at the needs, and look at the opportunities, and look at the programs and make those connections. So this is one of the most important days for Duval County Public School System.
Now, Mrs. Rogers, there's plenty of things. Obviously, that's a massive ballroom out there with a lot of schools in attendance. I'm sure, there's a lot going on right now. How do parents navigate that? And then also, how do they kind of start to narrow down what's important for their child?
And I think you said the magic word, their child. This expo, as much as it is for parents, it's really about the students. So when you're thinking about what you want for your child, take that into consideration. What is their interest? What do they want? As much as the parents want to decide for the children, look for something that will make them smile, something that will make them want to come to school, where they will want to be engaged. That's what this expo is all about. It's really to look at the child's needs. So parents, I ask you, when the children are dragging you to a booth, even though you think that's not what I want as a parent, follow that child to the booth to see what is happening there that will spark their interest to make them want to come to that school. Because we know when the students want to be there, then that is when they will come to school, where they will be successful and where they will graduate. So that's what I say look for. Look at your child's eyes. Look at what is causing them to want to go to that particular school.
That's really good advice, and I think I heard a round of applause from the audience. So, Mrs. Williams, you're a parent, so you know how this goes, being at the expo here with your children. Tell us about your school choice journey and the process you followed, or the essentials that you were really looking for when it came to selecting Kirby Smith Middle School for your son.
I think as a parent, going through the choices is actually nerve-wracking. Trying to find a place where your child's going to fit, where they're interested, where they're engaged. Everything Pearl Rogers hit on was exactly right. The school Bryce chose was Kirby Smith. We did not have that on our radar. My husband and I, we were leaning towards another school, and we took him on some tours, and lo and behold, he was dragging us. He was at the front of the line. He was engaged. He was inquisitive. He was asking teachers questions. The other schools, not so much. He was at the back looking at the the symbols on the floor, telling me that they're smiley faces in the tile, and he really was not interested. So as a parent, we decided that this was where he was going to be spending 8 hours a day, not where we were going to spend 8 hours a day. He has grown, he has flourished. It was definitely the choice he made, and he has owned it. So as a parent, let your child make that choice that's best for them.
Now, Bryce, just between me and you and about the other 100 people in this room, did you have the same goals that your mom had for you or your parents had for you going in to making a selection of a school?
No, I had completely different goals. I was focused on where my friends were going and how good the sports programs were, and that was before I toured the schools. And then after I started touring the schools, I realized what made schools unique, and there were different programs that they had. And Kirby Smith had that technology program that sort of turned all the classes that you had and had like a technology thing inserted into them, so you could use technology in all the classes. So that definitely made it unique, and I also like technology, so I liked the school. And then it also had a pretty good sports program too.
So is it fair to say you found what you were looking for?
Yes.
That's great. And so, Principal Robertson, as an elementary school principal, you're interacting and talking with a lot of families, and I'm sure you've been doing that today, and you'll continue to do that today. What do you find most interest or concerns those parents and students, and what do you tell them?
One of the things that comes out of those conversations is the parents wanting what's best, what they see is what's best for their child. They want us to create a partnership, and we're really big about creating that partnership and making sure that we're teaching the whole child and that we are listening to not only the parent, but what the child is interested in. Just like Pearl mentioned earlier, it is all about what they want, and Mrs. Williams picked up on that as well. It is what the child wants. And so we make a point of inviting them in and making them feel welcome. That's the first thing, and we invite them to come in and tour our facility, but we also make it a point where it becomes a family. And a lot of parents are wanting that. They want that connection with the school. They don't want to feel that they're not welcome in that building, that they're just sending their child off for 8 hours a day, but that they are an equal partner in making decisions for their child and what their child is going to learn and experience in school.
Very nice.
Now, Mr. Davis, magnet programs have been around for more than 20 years, and these attract students while trying to also meet emerging job trends and interests. How are those determined going into a school year?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's a direct link for us to make certain that we are truly connected to this process. For our learners, we owe it to every student and every aspiring student and every stakeholder to make certain that we're staying relevant in the workforce and make sure that we have initiatives and programs that are robust and connected to what's actually trending throughout the state and throughout our nation. We do a good job partnering with the Department of Education and the U.S. Department of Labor to identify jobs that are trending out there as of now, and then we bring those jobs back and those initiatives back and really listen to our learners to make certain that we're connected to actually what they want. So we can we take all that statistical data along with what our learners are actually wanting and aspiring to do, and we put it together to make sure that we have robust programs and robust initiatives. I can tell you now that our high schools and middle schools and elementaries are doing a better job connecting our process to pathways and creating opportunities for our students. I'll give you an example. Middle School Reform Plan really talks about how we're going to reform our middle schools. And one of the ways we're going to do it in a number of our middle schools is put pathways such as unique programs through our PITSCO project, which allows us to listen to our students and put an aeronautics program in schools, a sustainable and energy program in our school, where our kids are becoming more aware. And as Bryce spoke about at Kirby Smith with technology, students want to know how to build these things, our cell phones. They know how to navigate through. They know so much more than we do and connected to what's actually happening. So we're trying to stay abreast, and Dr. Vitti really wants to make sure that we have the initiatives and the programs that are most exciting and are most unique for our learners, and we're staying connected to them and listening to them.
And this is actually an open question for everybody. I'm just going to throw this out there. I don't think other people understand how difficult it is to keep up with technology and keep up? Because if you plan a program, and then that program has its guidelines, and then you go for 4 years, when at the end of that 4 years, you're now 4 years behind what's out there, especially for college or in the workforce. Are you guys seeing how the district is constantly trying to keep ahead of the game?
Yeah, we're doing a so much better job in the last 2.5 years, making sure that we have the greatest and the latest. Making sure that the students have every opportunity to learn from a one-on-one approach. And we're moving through our QZABS initiatives where we have that 2-to-1 and 1-to-1 device for our students, but making sure that we have the latest platforms and the programs from a technology so our students really have the cutting edge opportunities to stay connected to what's going on. The iPhone 6 has come out. They want to know about the 7, so they're ready for it. They're excited about it, and we have to make sure that we're prepared for that, and we're providing those opportunities.
And I think a lot of people, when they walk through the expo, they see so many different kinds of programs. And I know we often hear people say, I didn't know the district had this. So, Mrs. Rogers, what are some of the most unique or popular programs that this district has to offer, and maybe people don't know about them?
Well, we have about 160 schools in Duval County, so that means we have about 160 unique programs. Even though a lot of our schools have the same theme, if you were to ask each principal, they would tell you that their program or their theme is the best and their program is unique. But some of the ones that we do have this year that's coming up and that's really popular, of course, technology is always popular. I was in Kirby on Tuesday and I saw a student sitting working on a laptop, and so I wanted to know from him, what are you doing? Well, what he was doing was creating his own game. He had taken a Hershey bar and decided to create a game from a Hershey bar. So that's just something unique that they're doing. There are new programs all around. We have STEAM, which deals with science, technology, engineering, and math. Well, if you're artsy, call it STEAM instead of STEM, and then now you add the A to STEM. We have language arts, dual language programs. We have IB programs. Every program in Duval County is unique, and that's why I say to parents, instead of you getting in front of the child, take your child's hand, let them get in front of you, and you will see their eyes light up when they come to that unique program. We have medical programs where children can start in elementary school, and by the time they get into high school, they're actually learning how to do surgery. I said to a group of 7th graders at Darnell Cookman the other day, my goal is when I am older and in the hospital, I know I'm in good hands because they were learning how to do surgery just in case I need it. So there are the unique programs all over Duval County. We have leadership. We're teaching our students how to be strong leaders. We have military leadership academies. We have young women's and young men's schools where it is, specifically for students that decide the boys don't want to be with and around the girls don't want to be with and around the boys. So we have a unique program in every school in Duval County.
Okay, now Principal Robertson, parents have a lot of different options. There's charter, private, homeschool, virtual. What are some things that you guys are doing at Twin Lakes Academy Elementary School to sway them to come and at least look into your school and see what you guys offer?
Well, one of the things that we're very active about is inviting our parents to come in for tours. And the tour is not just a tour of the outside of the building or the inside of the building, but we actually take them into classrooms and show them how our children are working on those one-to-one devices, and that's part of our technology choice. We also take them and let them talk to our students. We think that's important for parents touring, to not only just talk to the administration, but talk to students and actually ask the kids what they're doing. And they're able to talk about the leadership opportunities that we have for our students there, whether it's our student council or if our National Elementary Honor Society or if it's part of our Students of Service. But the kids are there actually talking about what they're learning and what they're doing, and they're selling their school. We don't have to sell the school. They do that on their own. So I like to have parents definitely come in because, yes, they do all have options. They do all have choices, but they need to understand that we're there to teach the whole child, and we like to show them rather than just say it. We like them to come in and see it in action.
And so the Williams guests, I'm going to put you a little bit on the spot right now. Bryce is going to be going to high school next year. You're in the 8th grade. Woohoo! And so does that mean the two of you are school shopping today? Are there certain things you're looking for?
Well, Bryce has already made his decisions. And we didn't really have to shop much for him. But of course, we have another one coming up behind him, and we kind of like to put our feelers out and see what she's interested in and where she wants to go. But, it's so important, as Principal Robinson was saying, let the children make the choice. And the kids sell the schools. I mean, they really do. When they believe it and they own it and they've taken that accountability of their own choice, it shows. And to see them learn in a place where they are flourishing and have grown, it's just been such a wonderful experience through that choice.
Now, Bryce, you've been through this process obviously before going into high school. As I look out, there's a lot of students out there that maybe could take what you say to heart. What would you give them as advice as looking for their school? Maybe Kirby Smith isn't what they're looking for, but what would you say to them as a student who's been through the process?
I'd say just to totally look for something that applies to you and so that makes you feel like that's your place, what you're interested in, everything like Ms. Rozier said, that makes the school unique, because every school is unique. Look at something that makes it unique that you like and that you want to do, and not what your friends or your peers or everyone else wants to do. Just what you want to do and only you.
Really great
Wait,
advice
actually,
all around.
Mom wants to jump in.
Right. As a parent, our son actually was going to choose a school because all of his friends were going. After he toured Kirby, he realized how much of an interest he had. So his choice changed from something all of his friends were not going to attend. And that was hard for him to go to a school where there was going to be one or two people he knew. And our concern were the steps. His concern was the program. So needless to say, our son has done a great job, and he made some lifelong friends by making a choice of what he was interested in, not for his friends.
And I'm sorry to cut you off. I didn't mean to cut you off. I had to agree with what Bryce was saying, and that was a really great response as well. So final question, Ms. Rogers, for our listeners who maybe aren't here today, or unfamiliar with the application process, what are their next steps? What do you want them to know?
I think Ms. Robertson said it best. The first step is to go tour the schools. If you are here or if you are not here, find the school that your child is interested in, the schools, and go visit those schools. Do the tour. As you do the tour, you will then see if this is what you and your child will be looking for. After the tour, the big step is make sure you submit an application. A child cannot attend a magnet program or cannot attend a choice school that's not their neighborhood school without the application. The applications can be done online, or you can come to the School Choice office on the second floor of the school board building and submit the application. The deadline for the magnet applications is February 27th. February 27th is the deadline for the magnet applications.
What date was that again?
February 27th is the deadline. Make sure you get the applications in so that they can go through the lottery. Anything after February 27th will be on a wait list or a late list. February 27th, the deadline for magnet applications.
Can't say it enough, February 27th.
And we also have choice school applications because we will notify parents in March, the end of March and first part of April, if their seats were accepted for magnet. If by chance you do not get your magnet choice, you do have the option of going to a choice school. And choice schools can have and do have the same programs as magnet schools. So if you do not get your magnet choice, put in an application for a special assignment to a choice school, and the deadline for the choice applications is May 15th. May 15th.
May 15th.
May 15th. Well, we really appreciate all of y'all being here. Y'all were fabulous. I think the audience, would y'all agree our guests were good? Y'all did a fabulous job. It was a pleasure being here with y'all. Thank you.
And you can always catch all of our podcasts. We post them all on duvalschools.org. We're the little window at the very bottom of the screen. Also, once you click on that one podcast, it'll take you to the directory where we have about 15 others. And we have various topics on there that might suit you guys a little bit more. I encourage you to listen to them. They're no more than 20 minutes long each. And they're filled, typically Dr. Vitti is on most of them. And we have guests who are part of the school district that I think have expertise, knowledge on each topic. So I guess that's going to wrap up this live edition of the Real Talk podcast. Oh, one more. Oh.
February 27th, the deadline for magnet applications.
What was the date again?
February 27th.
All right. So on behalf of DCPS Productions, my name is Matt Began.
I'm Vicki Pierre.
And guys, thanks for listening.